Have you ever caught yourself looking at someone else's life and thinking, I wish I could be like them, or why does everything seem so easy for them? It's natural, isn't it? You scroll through social media, bump into an old friend, or hear a story about someone's big adventure or success, and suddenly, you start measuring your own life against theirs. We've all done it, especially as we get older. But what if I told you that this habit, this constant comparison to others, is actually stealing your happiness and you might not even realize it? It's a problem that affects people of all ages, but after 60, it can have an even bigger impact on how we feel about ourselves and our lives. The truth is, comparing ourselves to others is one of the most common, yet destructive, habits that can slowly chip away at our joy and self-worth. And if we're not careful, it can lead us down a path of regret, frustration, and even loneliness. It doesn't matter if you're comparing your body, your accomplishments, your relationships, or your retirement plans. None of it will bring you the peace and contentment that you're seeking. So why is it so easy to fall into this trap? Well, as we age, it's common to start thinking about the things we've done and the things we still want to do. And sometimes, seeing others' achievements or lifestyles can make us feel like we're falling short. But the reality is, everyone has a different path in life, and comparing yours to someone else's is like comparing apples to oranges. There's no point in doing it, and it's certainly not healthy for your mind or spirit. Let's take a moment to really think about this. Have you ever found yourself thinking, they've got it all together? Look at their kids, their vacations, their health. But here's the thing, you don't know their full story. Maybe they're struggling in areas that you can't see. Maybe they're battling with their own doubts, fears, or health issues, just like you might be. What you see on the outside doesn't tell the whole story. Yet, we let these surface-level comparisons affect how we feel about our own lives. At this stage in life, it's important to realize that happiness is not about perfection. Happiness comes from embracing the life that you have, your unique journey with all its ups and downs. Your experiences, challenges, and triumphs are yours and yours alone. When you compare them to someone else's, you're not being fair to yourself, because your story doesn't have to look like anyone else's to be meaningful and fulfilling. The first step in breaking free from this harmful cycle is understanding that you are enough exactly as you are, regardless of how you stack up next to others. But how do we stop comparing ourselves to others when it's so ingrained in us? It's not easy, especially in a world that constantly highlights other people's successes, accomplishments, and happy moments. This is where we need to make a shift in mindset. Instead of comparing, we need to focus on celebrating what we've accomplished and appreciating the life we've built for ourselves. Here's something to consider. Instead of looking at someone's vacation pictures and feeling jealous, why not take a moment to think about your own favorite memories? Maybe it's that cozy weekend getaway with your partner years ago, or the time you finally crossed something off your bucket list. Reflect on the moments in your life that have brought you joy, no matter how big or small. Doing this allows you to appreciate your own life instead of looking for reasons to be dissatisfied. Another thing to remember is that there's no timeline for happiness. We often feel like we should have accomplished certain things by a specific age, but the truth is, everyone's timeline is different. Just because someone else seems to have figured it all out, doesn't mean they're any happier than you. In fact, many people in their 60s and beyond are finally embracing their own version of success. Whether it's through retirement, a new hobby, or simply having more time to spend with loved ones. So, let's drop the idea that we should be somewhere we're not and focus on where we are right now in the moment. You may also want to start thinking about what truly brings you joy and fulfillment, not what society or others tell you should make you happy. For example, maybe you've never been a world traveler or someone who goes on big adventures, and that's perfectly okay. You might find more joy in a quiet evening at home with a good book, or in spending time with your grandkids. You have to decide what your version of happiness looks like, without measuring it against anyone else's. And here's something else I'd like you to think about: social media. It's a huge factor in today's world, and it often leads us to make unfair comparisons. Whether it's seeing pictures of people's perfect lives, their vacations, or their accomplishments, social media can create a sense of inadequacy. But the truth is, what people post online is often just the highlight reel. It's easy to forget that behind those pictures of exotic trips or beautiful homes, people might be struggling in ways we can't see. When you see something online that triggers that comparison feeling, remind yourself that what's posted doesn't represent the full picture. The happy moments you see are only a small part of someone's life, and you don't know the challenges they may be facing behind the scenes. By choosing not to fall into that trap, you can regain control of your own happiness. So, what can we do to stop this cycle of comparison and start living a more peaceful, joyful life? The first thing I recommend is that you start practicing self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Instead of focusing on what you haven't done or where you feel you fall short, acknowledge what you have done. Celebrate your accomplishments, big and small. Give yourself credit for the wisdom and experiences you've gathered over the years. And finally, remember that life is not a race. Your journey is yours alone, and it's perfectly fine if it doesn't match anyone else's. You've lived a full, rich life, and there's so much still to enjoy right where you are. Happiness doesn't come from trying to catch up with someone else's path. It comes from embracing yours. Now that we've explored the dangers of comparison and how it can rob us of our happiness, let's dive deeper into some practical ways to stop comparing and start living in a way that brings us joy and fulfillment. Stay tuned, because we've got some helpful tips coming your way that will help you focus on your own unique journey, no matter where you are in life. Let's get into it. So, now that we've talked about how comparing yourself to others can take a toll on your happiness, let's dive into some concrete steps to help you break free from that cycle. It's not easy and it won't happen overnight, but with a little effort, you can start to redirect your focus and create a life filled with joy that's truly your own. The first step is to practice gratitude every single day. It might sound simple, but taking a moment each day to reflect on what you're thankful for can completely shift your mindset. Instead of focusing on what you don't have or what someone else has, you begin to appreciate all the wonderful things in your life, things you might have been taking for granted. Take a few minutes each morning or evening to write down 3 things you're grateful for. It can be as simple as the warm cup of coffee you had this morning, the beautiful weather, or the loving family members around you. You might be surprised how much this small habit can improve your mood and sense of well-being. When you start seeing the good in your own life, it becomes easier to stop measuring it against someone else's. Another way to stop comparing yourself to others is by focusing on your strengths and passions. Think about the things that light you up, the hobbies or activities that make you feel alive. Whether it's painting, gardening, cooking, or volunteering, engaging in activities you love not only boosts your self-esteem, but also takes your attention away from other people's lives. If you're not sure what your strengths or passions are anymore, take some time to explore. It's never too late to try new things or rekindle old interests. Maybe you've always wanted to learn how to play an instrument or try yoga. Now is the perfect time to start. There's no pressure to be perfect at it, just enjoy the process. When you're deeply involved in something you enjoy, you won't have time to worry about what others are doing. Something that really helps in shifting your mindset is by reframing your thoughts. Whenever you catch yourself comparing your life to someone else's, pause and ask yourself, what am I focusing on here? What am I really comparing? Are you comparing your career achievements, your appearance, your relationships? Try to reframe it by focusing on your own growth in that area. For example, if you're looking at someone's travel adventures and thinking, I could never do that, shift your perspective. Instead, think about how far you've come in your own life. Maybe you haven't traveled much, but you've built a wonderful home, raised a loving family, or built a deep community of friends. Focus on the richness of your own experience, rather than feeling like you're lacking in some way. One of the most powerful ways to stop comparing yourself to others is by setting personal goals that are meaningful to you. These goals should be tailored to your own desires and needs, not based on what you think you should be doing at your age. Whether it's fitness-related, creative, social, or just having more fun. Setting goals gives you something to look forward to that is uniquely yours. These goals help you focus on what you want to achieve, without constantly looking over your shoulder to see what everyone else is doing. If you've been feeling stuck or unsure about what goals to set, start small. Perhaps you've always wanted to reconnect with an old friend or learn to cook a new dish. Setting these smaller, achievable goals will boost your confidence and remind you that life doesn't stop when you hit a certain age. There's always room for growth and enjoyment. I also want to emphasize the importance of surrounding yourself with supportive people. As you get older, the quality of the relationships you maintain becomes even more important. It's not about the quantity of friends you have, but about the people who truly lift you up, who encourage you, and who don't make you feel like you need to be anyone other than yourself. Take a moment to evaluate the people in your life. Are they supportive of your personal growth? Do they make you feel good about yourself? Or do they unintentionally trigger feelings of inadequacy? Sometimes, we may not realize that certain relationships are fueling our comparisons. It's okay to step back from relationships that aren't adding value to your life. You deserve to be around people who celebrate who you are and where you're at in life, not people who make you feel like you're falling behind. Another helpful practice is learning to embrace the present moment. It's so easy to look back at the past and wish things had been different, or to look ahead and feel like there's not enough time to accomplish everything we want. But the truth is, all we really have is right now. And when you focus on the present moment, on what you're doing right now in this moment, you'll realize that everything you need to be happy is already within your reach. Take a walk in nature, savor a cup of tea, or have a conversation with a loved one. These small, everyday moments are filled with potential for happiness if we just stop to notice them. The more we appreciate the present, the less we feel the need to compare it to anyone else's experiences. Mindfulness practices, like deep breathing or meditation, are also excellent tools to help you become more grounded in the present moment. These practices help you release the anxiety and stress that often come from comparing yourself to others. When you're present, you're not thinking about what's happening in someone else's life. You're fully engaged in your own. And that's where true happiness begins. Let's not forget the importance of self-love in this journey. When you truly love and accept yourself, there's no room for comparison. You become confident in who you are and what you bring to the table. Self-love means embracing your imperfections, acknowledging the mistakes you've made, and forgiving yourself for them. It means showing yourself the same kindness and compassion that you would offer to a friend. If you haven't practiced self-love before, start with small steps. Each time you notice a negative thought about yourself, counter it with a positive affirmation. Tell yourself, I am enough, I've done my best, or I am worthy of happiness. Over time, these affirmations can help shift your mindset and lead you toward greater self-acceptance. Now that we've explored ways to stop comparing yourself to others, I hope you're starting to feel empowered to embrace your own unique journey. The more we focus on our strengths, set meaningful goals, surround ourselves with positive people, and practice self-love, the more happiness and peace we'll find. But there's still more to explore. In the next section, we'll dive into how to stay motivated and keep the momentum going as you continue to create a life that's authentically yours. Stick with me. This is going to be a journey worth taking. We've talked about how comparing yourself to others can diminish your happiness, and we've explored some strategies to help break free from that cycle. Now, let's take a deeper dive into how you can continue nurturing your own happiness and well-being as you move forward in life. It's not just about stopping comparisons, it's about actively fostering a mindset that allows you to thrive. One of the most essential elements of living your happiest life after 60 is continuing to grow and learn. It doesn't matter how old you are, there's always room for new experiences, skills, and knowledge. When we stop learning, it's easy to feel stuck. But when we challenge ourselves to try something new, whether it's learning to dance, taking a class on a subject that interests you, or even just picking up a new hobby, we're enriching our lives in meaningful ways. If you've been thinking about learning something new, but haven't yet taken the plunge, there's no better time than now. Start small and think about what excites you. It could be anything from knitting to photography, from gardening to mastering a new language. Whatever it is, give yourself permission to be a beginner. There's no pressure to be perfect. Just allow yourself to experience the joy of growth. As you learn, you'll find that you're more focused on your own development and less concerned with where others are at. Along with learning comes taking care of your physical health. The state of our physical bodies can have a significant impact on our mental and emotional well-being. When we feel strong and healthy, we tend to be happier and more energetic. But let's be honest, the older we get, the more challenges we face with our health. However, that doesn't mean we're out of options. There are plenty of ways to stay active and healthy at any age. Start with something simple, like going for a daily walk. You'd be surprised at how much this can improve your mood and overall health. It doesn't need to be a marathon. Just a brisk walk around your neighborhood or a scenic park can do wonders. If walking isn't for you, there are other activities to try, like yoga, tai chi, or swimming, all of which are gentle on the joints while still providing fantastic benefits. Remember, it's not about being in perfect shape or having the same energy you had decades ago. It's about doing what feels good for you and moving your body in ways that bring joy and vitality. Whether it's a light stretch in the morning or dancing to your favorite tunes in the living room, stay active in a way that makes you feel happy and alive. Nourishing your mental health is just as important. After 60, many of us find that we experience more ups and downs than we used to, and that's okay. Life is full of change, and it's natural to go through periods of transition or challenge. But it's crucial to take steps to protect your mental well-being so that you can enjoy the life you've worked hard for. One of the most helpful practices is mindfulness and meditation. These techniques allow you to stay present and centered, even during difficult times. Mindfulness helps you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, and it gives you the tools to manage stress, anxiety, or negative thinking. Meditation, on the other hand, offers a peaceful escape from the busyness of life. It's a way to quiet the mind, focus on your breath, and tap into a deep sense of calm and clarity. If you've never tried meditation before, don't worry. It's easier than you think. Start with just a few minutes a day. Find a comfortable place to sit, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath without judgment. Over time, you'll notice that meditation becomes a powerful tool to help you feel grounded and at peace. Another important aspect of mental health is staying connected with others. As we get older, it's easy to become more isolated, especially if we've lost friends or family members along the way. But social connection is vital for our happiness and well-being. It's not about the number of people you know. It's about the quality of your relationships. Take the time to nurture existing friendships or make new ones. Volunteer at a local organization, join a club that aligns with your interests, or simply reach out to someone for a chat. Even a small conversation with a friend or a family member can lift your spirits and remind you that you are loved and supported. If you feel like your social circle is smaller than you'd like, there are plenty of online communities and local groups for seniors where you can connect with others who share similar interests and experiences. Another great way to connect with others is by giving back to your community. Helping others not only feels good, but it also boosts your sense of purpose. Whether it's mentoring someone, volunteering at a charity, or helping a neighbor with their groceries, these acts of kindness can make a world of difference, not just for others, but for your own sense of fulfillment. Which brings us to the idea of finding meaning and purpose in your life. After 60, many of us start to reassess what's truly important. We may have already accomplished a lot, but there's still so much left to experience. Finding a sense of purpose, no matter what it looks like for you, can give you the motivation and drive to keep going, even through tough times. Purpose doesn't always mean grand achievements. Sometimes it's about the small things, like offering a listening ear to a friend in need, or creating something beautiful with your hands. It can also mean taking care of your own well-being and ensuring that you're living in a way that aligns with your values. When you feel that what you're doing matters, you'll feel more content, and the urge to compare your life to others will naturally fade away. Finally, I want to leave you with one last thought. Happiness is a choice. Every day, you have the power to choose how you want to feel, how you want to live, and how you want to experience the world. Life after 60 can be just as vibrant and exciting as any other time. It's about embracing where you are, celebrating the journey you've had, and looking forward to the adventures still to come. So next time you catch yourself comparing your life to someone else's, take a deep breath and remind yourself that your path is unique and beautiful in its own right. You don't need to follow anyone else's timeline. Embrace your individuality and live your best life on your terms. Remember, happiness is found within. It's about cultivating the right mindset, taking care of yourself physically and mentally, and connecting with those who lift you up. I'm so glad you took the time to watch this video today. I hope you feel inspired and ready to take the next steps toward living a fulfilling life after 60, free from the pressures of comparison. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content to help you live your best life. I'd love to hear about your own journey in the comments below. What are some things you do to stay happy and fulfilled? Let's continue this conversation and support each other on our paths to happiness. Here's to living your best, most authentic life at any age. You've got this.